A couple of days ago, Bon Jovi released their duets edition of the Forever album. I've reviewed every single for the album as it's come out. Red, White and Jersey, I already made a video on. Same with Hollow Man. And also the Living Proof with Jelly Roll, I've talked about that as well. I haven't yet talked about the Robbie Williams one, and obviously the rest of the album is brand new to me. I also reviewed the standard edition of the album, just as it is. I would recommend watching that because in this video I'll be talking more about the duet aspect. I won't be so much talking about like, oh, how much do I actually like the song? As of the time that I'm recording this, I just listened to the Duets album for the first time. So these are all very fresh opinions. They're all brand new. Obviously they're subject to change with time. However, I do have lots to talk about. I am excited to get into it. I want to actually start the video by talking about Fight Somebody, which is technically not on the album. It's on the bonus tracks. But I think it's relevant to this video because, first of all, it's kind of the best song on there. Kind of. I wouldn't say that it's... There are ones that I definitely prefer, but Fight Somebody... Okay, why was this not on the official record? I mean, to be fair, at this point, it's become a running joke, almost, that Bon Jovi always leave the best songs, or at least very, very good songs, off the album. I mean, this has been happening forever. Bon Jovi are known for leaving the best songs off albums, so it's not really a surprise to me that we have a banger of a deluxe track, of a bonus track. It's just slightly annoying, if that makes sense. It's quite annoying because I think this would have made a phenomenal single for the band. It's like shooting yourself in the foot, because to me, I think to myself, right, okay, what would be the reason for putting this song on a bonus track? It would be to sell a deluxe album, right? But to me, I think that they probably would make more money if they just put it on the normal album, made it a single, because that's gonna be a driving force for some people to buy this album. I mean, this song is really good. If you put it on the proper album and if you advertise it, then you're gonna get far more money through record sales than you will from putting it on a bonus track, a bonus album that, you know, most people have never heard of and will never hear of and will never buy. It seems like shooting yourself in the foot to me. That being said, it's a great song, so I'm not angry. I'm very happy to listen to it, you know. It's just a shame that it's been relegated to bonus tracks, because it's probably never going to get live play. I mean, hopefully I'm wrong, but it's probably never going to get live play. It's exactly what Forever needed. I mean, we had a bit of it in Living Proof, that sort of an oomph, that energetically charged, kind of hefty, upbeat, fast song. It's very good. It's what Bon Jovi fans have been asking for. I loved Forever as it is. If you watch my review on Forever, you'll see that I did really love the album. But I think that it could have done with more... I'm trying to phrase this. It could have done with more songs that core Bon Jovi fans would have been more drawn to. Again, I've said so many times, Legendary, as much as I know John would have had it no other way, I don't know if it was the best lead single. I think Living Proof or Fight Somebody would have been a far better choice, you know, or even Waves or something like that. I would love to see this become a single. I mean, it's not too late to make it a single, but I don't think that it will. I think it will be like That Was Then, This Is Now, and Ain't Done Yet, and Shine, and Love Can. I think it would just probably rot away, unfortunately. Anyway, so Red, White and Jersey is the first actual track of the Duets album. I've already reviewed this one, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's grown on me massively since I made that video. Like, I think I was saying again, it's just not worth being the lead single, I don't think. I think it's radio friendly, but it's not interesting enough, which sounds very harsh, but I think something like Fight Somebody just would have been a better choice for lead single. That being said, I really like Red, White and Jersey. I think that it's fun, it's catchy. The chorus, it gets stuck in my head. Watch my other video if you want a more serious opinion on it. Okay, so after that we have Legendary with James Bay. I had never heard of James Bay before. I think I'm living under a rock because the vast majority of the people on this album I'd never heard of. Legendary, I think, is actually one of the better duets, from what I'm thinking after retrospectively. I think that if you watch my other videos, and obviously I'll get into in a minute, my main criticism, especially with the Jelly Roll one, is that these singers didn't add a whole lot to the song. Like, for example, Jelly Roll, I feel bad continuously making an example out of Jelly Roll, because it's not his fault. But he did not really add anything to Living Proof. He sang a verse, and then he started to sing on the chorus, but then he kind of faded out. I still don't really get what was going on in that chorus. It was very messy, and the mixing was terrible. But he sang a verse, and then he came back for a few ad-libs in the end. It just wasn't interesting. There was no, for the whole first minute of the song, there was no sign that it was even a duet. There was no instrumental changes or anything, and Jelly Roll and John's voices just didn't match well. I think, again, that was the production, maybe not necessarily their actual voices, but I was, not impressed. And I was kind of worried that the whole album would be like that, and some of them definitely are, but this one, I think, actually did kind of work. This guy's voice fits quite well with John's. He also properly sings in the chorus. Like, it feels like he's adding something. He's adding harmonies, he's adding texture, he's making it feel a bit thicker, a bit more powerful. And they're also, neither voice is actually overpowering the other one, like in the Jelly Roll one. I'm gonna say this once, it would have been amazing if Bon Jovi had actually re-recorded the song, especially since John's been talking so much about his voice. It would have been great to hear that improvement on the record. I get why he's not, it makes sense to have not done. However, I think a really integral part of a duet is that interaction, and when it's just someone singing a verse and then sending it over via flipping email or something, there's definitely a bit of that connection which is just lost and doesn't really work. I can 100% picture myself listening to this version over the normal one sometimes. Maybe not all the time, but I do really, 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 really like it. It's nice. Okay, so We Made It Look Easy is a lovely track, actually. I really, really, really love We Made It Look Easy. On the standard one, that is. And this duet is with Robbie Williams, who he's really beloved in the UK, at least amongst a certain generation. I don't think that I'm in that generation that's like in love with Robbie Williams. I don't really know him very well. I think his voice kind of suits the track. Also, he's a music veteran, right? So it makes sense for him to be singing We Made It Look Easy. It wouldn't make sense if a really young, newcoming person came and sang on this track. It only makes sense with a slightly older, more seasoned singer. This one I didn't love as much because it was a bit more like the Jelly Roll one. I feel like this sounds horrible, it didn't really promote the idea of a duet. He sang on the second verse, he sang a bit in the choruses, a bit at the end. It was nothing like wow. But this one, again, I don't really have a problem with it. It's not as outwardly shit as the Jelly Roll one, because I'm sorry, I'm gonna hate that one forever. This one is okay. It's mediocre, it's not egregious, it's just, I much prefer the other one, if that makes sense. I just prefer the standard version. In fairness, he does have quite a few ad-libs towards the end, which I do think are a nice touch. It does add something to the final chorus, it makes it a bit more exciting. But it would have been more interesting if he had a bit more of a contribution, just in general, I think. I will skip Living Proof, because if I talk any more about that song, I will fucking explode. I love the original Living Proof. The Jelly Roll one just did not hit for me. Waves, oh my gosh. Waves is one of my favourite tracks on Forever. I love Waves. From the moment that I first heard the snippet of Waves, I was like, oh yeah, this might be my favourite on the album. This duet is with Jason Isbell? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I've never heard of him either. Oops. But I actually liked his voice. It was quite lovely. It was quite soft, but also quite powerful. And he actually does really give the song something. I was quite impressed when I heard the second verse. I liked it a lot. He takes the vocals to a much higher register than John does. Obviously John's kind of stuck in a mid-range. So yeah, Jason takes it to a much higher register, quite a bit more powerful. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like he's overpowering John, which is a really important part. You know, you don't want to have a duet where one singer feels like they're miles more amazing than the other and that they're just outdoing the other. You don't want that. It just feels like a good second verse. You know, the second verse should always be a bit more, it should have a bit more substance than the first, I think. I think Bon Jovi's second verses have kind of become renowned for being great. Honestly, all in all, I would say that this version surprised me. I was expecting to just be like, well, it's just like the other one. But I actually like this one. I can foresee myself picking this version occasionally to listen to. I enjoyed it a lot. My only gripe would be, I wish he'd had a bit more of a contribution. He doesn't get to do as much after that second verse, which is a shame because he actually really did add something. Seeds was with a guy called Ryan Tedder. Again, who is this guy? I don't know. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for not knowing who these people are? I didn't necessarily love this guy's voice. Let me explain. Because he's got a really lovely voice. It's very soft. It's very smooth. It's almost too nice, if that makes sense. I like a bit of a rasp, a bit of grit, maybe a bit of like roughness in a voice. So when something's really smooth, like almost auto-tune level smooth, even though I know it's not, when a voice is too perfect, it kind of turns me off. Because he's got a very good voice, it's just, it doesn't really work because John's voice is so rough at this point in his life. It's so like worn with age, you know, and this guy's voice is so smooth. They're like polar opposites, and I don't think that they work very well together. What I do like about this duet though is that he does get to do some really nice like woes and woos and ohs in the instrumental after the choruses. I think that works really well, especially with his smoother voice. It works really well. It sounds like I don't know, it just sounds really nice. I do like that addition. I think a big problem for me with a lot of these duets is the people are singing over each other. They're not harmonizing, it's in unison. And when you're recording unison, not in the same room together, I feel like there's a very big disconnect. Because it's a recurring theme in all of these songs is that if they sing the chorus together, they sing it in unison, there's no harmonies. And I don't get that. I think it sounds weird, especially with the production that almost can't really choose like who they want to focus on. There's always someone that's a tiny bit more powerful than the other one. I preferred the Legendary one, I preferred the Waves one. I will probably be sticking to the original Seeds. Kiss the Bride was with Billy Falcon. Billy Falcon is one of John's songwriting friends. He wrote a lot for this album. He also looks suspiciously like Alan Partridge. If anyone knows what I mean, tell me they get me, because he looks the same. Like when I saw this picture of John and Billy Falcon, I was like, oh my god, it's John and Steve Coogan. But it's not, it's John and Billy. Yeah, it was really weird. I like Billy's voice, actually. I'd never really come across it before. I think he's got a lovely voice. It's very, it's quite emotional. It's quite emotionally charged. And I think because he's got that songwriting connection, like he helped to write a lot of songs, I think that he feels it a bit more. Like, for example, some of these artists, I feel like they're just, let's sing a song with Bon Jovi. Like, this guy has more of a connection, if that makes sense. There's something else present. His vocals are very emotional. His tone is really lovely. It's the type of voice that I would like. There's a bit before, I can't remember what it is it before the instrumental? There's a bit before some point where they sing You May Kiss the Bride, and they do it in unison, and that's my biggest gripe with the whole song, because I really did not like the way that their voices went together in that moment. Other than that, again, I really liked it. I liked Billy's verse. I just would have preferred harmonies as opposed to unison. It's just on that line in particular, their vibratos did not work well together. I don't think that's just a me opinion. I think that if I showed that to most people, they'd be like, whoa, that did not work in unison. But I don't mean to criticise this song really, because I did actually enjoy this one. I can see myself listening to this one just as much as the original one. I liked it. Okay, now we get to what is by far, undisputed, the best one on the whole album. The People's House. For starters, it was a great song on the standard one. It was great. The pianos were fantastic. It was just an amazing song. So I already love it, and I also think that it's fair to say that the War and Treaty, who did this song with Bon Jovi, are probably, I mean, I don't want to say by far because I feel like that's rude. They're very good vocalists, and I think that they're probably better vocalists than quite a few people on this record. They were fantastic. They are absolutely brilliant. Or at least, what I'll say is that they showcased the best vocals on this album. I don't know about outside of the album, but they are the best on the album. The thing with this duet is that to me, it's blatantly obvious. And I mean, look, I could be very wrong about this. I could actually be completely wrong and be an idiot. However, to me, in my mind, I see this song as the inspiration for the Duets album. I don't think that the Duets album was a concept before they made this song. I think that they just wanted to do a extra duet, a bit like something like Who Says You Can't Go Home. And I think this song went so well that John thought, oh, let's just do that with every song on the album. However, they didn't do it in the same way. I think that when they did it with the War and Treaty, they did it like a proper song. I think John was probably in the studio with them. You know, I mean, for starters, they promoted it like a real song. They made it a single. They created a music video. And they recorded it, they produced it all like they would with an ordinary Bon Jovi song. It was properly produced, recorded, everything. War and Treaty got a far bigger portion of the song to sing on. You know, their vocals were present through pretty much throughout the song. From the very first verse, they're straight in there, they're singing, and they're being amazing. And, you know, they've got chorus in the background, like a choir. They are doing ad-libs throughout the song, they're singing, they have obviously the whole entire second verse, but they're present throughout the song, they're singing on every part of it. It feels like a true collaboration, a true duet. So I think John thought, oh, okay, this is great, which it is. However, when it came to making a duets album, I think it would be very difficult to get every artist on this record in the studio. Obviously, first of all, for Bon Jovi, because that's a lot of re-recording. Secondly, these artists are big artists. You know, Bruce Springsteen, Joe Elliott, Avril Lavigne. You can't really just pull them all from different facets of the world and be like, hi, can you come to my studio and record with me? It doesn't really work in practice. So I think what happened is that John and the band, or whoever's involved, just sent over the tracks and said like, hi, sing a verse over the song, please, thank you. Which is great and it's fine. However, it's just not the same level of care and attention that was put into The People's House, if that makes sense without sounding horrible. Because I listened to this one and I think it is really leaps and bounds better in quality. And I don't think there'd be many people that would disagree with that. It's quite a stark difference. It's a brilliant song. It's even better than the original, which was always great in the first place. I really liked that song. But their vocals are so amazing. And even though they're so amazing, they also don't overpower John's, because it's a true duet. It's like properly done with real care, real attention, real attentiveness. It's great. I really can't sing my praises enough for it. I love it. Walls of Jericho. Oh my gosh, I love Walls of Jericho. It's very Lost Highway vibes. It's great. It's probably the most fun one on the album for me. I really sincerely love this song. And this duet is with Joe Elliott, which is finally somebody that I actually know. I know who Joe Elliott is, yay. I have a really unfair critique of this one. It's not fair, it's not a problem with the actual song, it's just me. In the standard edition of the second verse, I love that second verse. I wouldn't change a thing about it. I really love that verse. I love the way he sings, drop your shields and put your swords down, your weapons are your voices. And then he says like, oh, you will know when the war is over. I love the way he sings that. I love the way he says it. I adore that second verse. So obviously Joe Elliott sings the second verse in this new one, and I'm just like, no, come back. The raspy John vocals, where have they gone? Joe Elliott sings it fine. I liked it as it was, you know. Maybe if it was the first verse, it would have been different. I'm just mourning the loss of that second verse. I'm sad. Anyway, I don't have any major issues with this song. Maybe I would have wanted a bit more from Bon Jovi and Def Leppard's first studio collab, if that makes sense. But it's fine. There's nothing wrong with the song. Just my personal critique. Maybe, yeah, he could have done a bit more, but other than that, it's fine. It's nothing amazing, it's nothing terrible, it's just a fun new version of the song. I Wrote You a Song with Lainey Wilson is one of the maybe 2 or 3 songs on this album that I really genuinely do think is better than the original one, which is great. It's exactly what I wanted when I heard of the Forever Duets album. I love this one. I think it's great. My biggest critique of the ordinary I Wrote You a Song was that John tends to sing a bit outside of his register, to the point where it's like, okay, calm down. With the added vocals from Lainey Wilson, who, by the way, to me, it just sounds like Dolly Parton. It's like hearing a Dolly Parton Bon Jovi collaboration. It's weird. But she really adds a lot of power to these vocals, which maybe were lacking a bit from John. I don't want to say that. It's just, it was a bit high, right? It's a bit of a high song to sing, when it didn't need to be. But Lainey's vocals have a massively positive effect. They kind of fill it out, they give it a bigger sound. She was great, and also she got to harmonise a bit. She wasn't just singing everything in unison. I think that was the one that was harmonising. I can't remember, obviously I just listened to all of these. But yeah, I really liked it. Standout track on this album, 100% will listen to it more. Yeah. Paradise, oh my gosh, Living in Paradise is one of my favourites on the album. You might say, why? And I just say, look, it's a happy song. I like happy songs, you know, it makes me smile. It's a massively happy song. It reminds me a bit of Have a Nice Day in a weird way. Even though it's a bit more of like a pop song, it's got a similar chord progression to Have a Nice Day. This duet is with Avril Lavigne. I think Avril was quite a good choice for this song. It's actually something that I can see her singing solo. I'm not really an Avril Lavigne fan. I like Skater Boy. I don't like the genre in general. I really, really actually hate emo music. It's one of my least favourite genres. I really don't like it. But again, I think she's one of the better ones in the genre. And I think she does what she does very well, and it fits on this song. It's also one of the better ones on the duets album. I think her voice, again, it serves to very kind of fill out the vocals. It just makes it feel a bit thicker, a bit more powerful, more texture. There's no problem with it. I don't have any problem with it. And I believe, again, she does do some harmonising. It's not all just in unison. I could be wrong. I don't know. I liked this one. I didn't really have anything negative to say about it when, you know, obviously I'm listening to these with a critical ear, knowing that I'm going to do a review. So I'm not just listening to them like, oh, let's just have a great time. There's a part of me that's like, think, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What can you say about it on YouTube and stuff? I couldn't really think of anything that I didn't like, that I found really, offensive. My first guitar was one that I didn't like at first on the standard, then it grew on me. However, I would say I don't love it on this duets album. The duet was with Marcus King. Again, am I actually living under a rock? Who are these people? Who is Marcus King? Maybe he's bombastically famous. I don't know, but I've never heard of him in my life. The structure for all of these songs on this album is pretty much the same. It's very much like, oh, you sing the second verse, maybe you'll sing a bit on the chorus, and then you'll come back at the end for ad-libs. It's very much like that. And so is this song in particular. Because this is just the same as the original. Like, it's the same as the original song with a different second verse. I mean, his voice was nice. I had no issues with his voice. It's just, it doesn't feel like a duet. What it boils down to is I think the duets should feel like a different song. Almost. Not fully. But for example, if you put on Who Says You Can't Go Home with Jennifer Nettles, you immediately know which one is which. You from the first note, almost, you immediately know, from the first note, you know if it's Jennifer Nettles, Who Says You Can't Go Home, or if it's Ordinary, Who Says You Can't Go Home. I feel like it should be like that for a lot of the songs. Almost immediately you know that it's the War and Treaty People's House. But for the rest of the songs, you don't find out that it's a duet until the second verse. It feels like you've been tricked, almost, in a way. It's a bit odd. Especially if you've got the songs on shuffle or something, and then you're like, oh, I'm listening to Bon Jovi, and then some random voice appears in your ear. You're like, whoa. Anyway, last but definitely not least, in fact, probably the best one, except for maybe The People's House, is Hollow Man with Bruce Springsteen. I have already talked about this song. I made a whole video on this song. I love this song. I'm a big Bruce Springsteen fan. I love Bruce Springsteen. I'm obsessed with Cover Me and No Surrender. I listen to those songs every day. Like literally every single day. I'm obsessed, okay? I love his voice. I love his style. I love everything Bruce Springsteen related. So when it comes to Hollow Man, I was like, yes, it fits his voice so well. He adds something as well. He adds the harmonica. It feels like a new song. Like you actually, when you hear the beginning, like what I was just saying, you know whether it's Bruce Springsteen Hollow Man or whether it's just ordinary Bon Jovi Hollow Man. That's important to me. Probably important to many people. It's great. So yes, I would say 100% it's a very, very, very worthy addition to the album. If you want, you can listen to my other video on it. I mean, it kind of just boils down to everything that I've just said. It feels amazing, it's wonderful, it's great, I love it. So yeah, overall, what would I say? I would say that Fight Somebody, oh my god, why is that not on the album? Switch Fight Somebody and Red, White and Jersey. Again, I've already said, I love Red, White and Jersey, it's grown on me. But switch them, for God's sake, switch them, please! It would do such a wonderful thing for Bon Jovi, I think, to have a single like that on radio. For example, Living Proof should have been lead single. I think by the time it was released as a single, the hype had sort of died down. There's kind of 3 categories of songs on this record, I would say. Number 1 is the ones that I just think, yeah, I'm probably never going to listen to these again. Number 2 is the songs where it's like, I could interchangeably listen to this in the standard version. And then number 3 is, oh wow, this is better than the standard version. Like 100%, I'll be almost adopting this new one as my main forever track. And I would say the ones that fall into that top category are Legendary, possibly, The People's House, and Hollow Man, 100%, and I Wrote You a Song. Those 4 in particular I really loved. Living in Paradise as well. Anyway, that's all I really have to say. My voice is going because I've been recording for an hour, God knows how. Yeah, let me know what you think. I was pleasantly surprised because when I heard Living Proof, I was like, oh no, I don't like this. I'm not gonna like the whole album. But I did like the album. I will say, I did like it. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not upset. So yes, let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.